Instantly, the Broncos become a team to watch in 2022, both from the big picture standpoint of how they perform and one game at a time when they're on TV. And all of a sudden, Seattle hosting the Broncos becomes one of the most coveted games of the year because, yes, Russell Wilson will be going back home in his first year away from the Seahawks. The Broncos go to Seattle. I suspect that's going to be a primetime game, probably early enough in the season before we really know who is and isn't a contender. Right around the time Tom Brady went back to New England would be perfect. Week 4, Russell Wilson and the Broncos at the Seahawks. Their odds are already improving for winning the Super Bowl and getting to the playoffs, and they're very excited. They haven't been to the playoffs in 5 years. They haven't been to the postseason since winning the Super Bowl. The Broncos having fun with the Wilson.
It's great.
Castaway, great movie, by the way. Underrated movie.
Yeah, Seattle, I wanted to go like, what do you, you're lost Wilson.
This has been
we
deleted.
Know it. Okay, because they realized, like, what are we doing here? Wait, this is Denver's Wilson now. I didn't really understand their logic in this either, but they lost him for sure. He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. And they made that choice when they didn't have a regime change at the end of the 2021 season. That's when the seeds for this were planted. Well, actually, they were planted a year ago. They just took a while
that's
to grow.
what I was going to say, right.
But the catalyst was they have a bad season. The offense is crap. No sign of improvement. The team is dipping. They're having a hard time competing in their own division. And they keep Pete Carroll and John Schneider in place. And I really do think Carroll benefits from the fact that they don't have fully engaged ownership in Seattle. So Carroll's basically in charge, and Russell was ready to go. And Russell, to his credit, didn't push it like he did last year.
No, he did not.
Maybe he didn't need to because they already had the message behind the scenes. And he understood that it's easier to work out a deal if you're not agitating publicly for a deal to be done.
Right.
Just let it percolate, let it breathe, and they did. And enter the Broncos. Russell Wilson gets what he wants, even though the Broncos are giving up a lot to get him. And, Chris, they're going to give up a lot more eventually.
Yeah, because they're going to have to give him money. It's just like what we've seen with the Rams the last few years, right? I mean, you make a trade with one guy.
Can't say no now.
No, you can't.
Say, after
you're
giving up all that
now.
stuff,
right?
You can't say, well, we've engaged in a careful review of your performance, Russ, and we've got some concerns. We're going to have a performance review. Positive. No, you got to pay him.
Yes,
you've
100%.
It's done. You've given him a blank check. Whatever he wants, you got to give him.
For the most part, I mean, you're right. They have. I mean, there's no doubt. But that can be a positive thing, too. And I think that's probably why they were willing to trade for Russell Wilson. And that's where it's maybe, yes, a little more expensive, to your point, than Aaron Rodgers, because you go, wait, we're getting a guy that's 32 and that legitimately has 6-8 years of good football left, really. Where Aaron Rodgers, again, in age, where he's at mentally, I think was a little dicier that way. But I think that's the cool thing about, the Russell Wilson combination there in Denver is that fact, and that he gets to, kind of build something there. Yes, they got to sign him. They got to sign him to a long-term deal. I would think that at some point during this season or as soon as the season's over, that he'll get signed up to a 5-6 year extension and be a Denver Bronco for, what I would think is, to the end of his career, or at least till he makes another move, maybe at the very end, something like that. But game changer. And then, there we are, AFC, we're still sitting there going, man, the AFC, they got a lot of good quarterbacks. The AFC, they got a lot of good quarterbacks. And the NFC loses one of their better ones, and now he's in the AFC too. I mean, it's unbelievable. The AFC West is going to be must-watch TV on a weekly basis with the quarterbacks they got out there.
Obviously, the 2 games against Patrick Mahomes, 2 games against Justin Herbert, 2 games against Derek Carr, a guy whose job Wilson was willing to try to take last year because the Raiders were one of the 4 teams that were identified as trade destinations. Then you've got games against the Titans on the road. That's a compelling game now, Broncos at Titans. You got a game at Baltimore against Lamar Jackson next year. And Russell Wilson and the Broncos play every team from the NFC West, not just the Seahawks. He's going to see the 49ers again. He's going to see the Cardinals again. He's going to see the Rams again in his first year out of Seattle. A compelling season for the Denver Broncos, and they become relevant. And, hey, at a time when they're looking for a buyer, for the franchise.
What? Cha-ching.
Not a bad time to
Cha-ching.
puff up the value of the team.
Yes.
Here we go. We got a new coach. We got a GM who's been here for a year, and we got a franchise quarterback. Come on, Bezos. Come on, Bezos. Write that check, baby.
It benefited everybody. That's where you look at it. For them, it was a no-brainer. I mean, it benefits, yes, justifying your new head coach. Let's give him a quarterback, and he's supposed to be an offensive genius. Let's get that going. It benefits the GM. Bam. All right, we got that guy now. We don't have to worry about it, and I can build the rest of the roster, and there's no more worrying about the quarterback position. So now they can spend their time in free agency in the middle rounds of the draft trying to get some better players on the front seven, on the defensive line, and positions of need. So you look at that, and then you're right, with the ownership on top of it, I mean, bam. I mean, again, I don't know. I mean, Denver was already one of the better franchises in all of football. It's got a great stadium. They got a great facility. They got everything you need. They got some tradition. They do. They got a great following and fan base, and now you add the quarterback to it. Yeah, I mean, look, things look good in Denver, especially with the young talent they got on their football team, even on the defensive side. Bradley Chubb there, Surtain. I mean, looks like he's going to be a budding superstar here going. So if you're a Broncos fan or somebody looking to buy the Broncos, damn, that looks real good right now for sure.
I got an important question.
Yeah.
What's he going to say now when he signs off an interview or a press conference? He ain't going to say go Hawks.
No, he's not.
Is it go Bronx? Is it go Bronx?
It's not. No, I mean, I've never heard Bronx. I've never heard
go Bronx.
He might have to come up with some. They might have to come up with some other slogan. Yeah, I don't know what that's going to be.
I bet he's going to say go Bronx. I bet Bronx is going to become a thing. Yeah, I bet he's going to say go Bronx.
Okay.
Not yeah. So Pete says we're going to ask PointsBet as to what the odds will be for the Russell Wilson sign off, but it will not be. It will not be. Go Hawks.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.